recording. Okay, so we just finished our chapter on four-part harmony and like cadences, which I think all of you are really happy about. And now we're gonna be doing for this lesson. I want to recap something that was done in grade 2, but you're still gonna come across it in grade 3, so I might as well address it now. It's not in the textbook for some reason, so does anyone remember what an interval is? An interval? Did that strike a bell from grade 2? So essentially an interval is like the distance between two notes. It is like strictly like any two notes. It doesn't have to be in a chord or so you could say two notes in a melody are like a perfect fifth apart or something. So you got to name your intervals with using number and quality. So well, I would say like there isn't really anything new with grade 2 intervals and grade 3 intervals, except for the fact that there are 4 new key signatures and keys to account for. So let's start with something simple. Okay. If your root note was C, then okay. So if you had a root note of C, and can you observe that all of these notes, all of the top notes, they are notes of the C major scale. So if you had any of these intervals, well, if you had any interval actually, you just got to consider the root as the tonic of a scale. So in this case, you would think, okay, well, I'm either working with C major or C minor. So for this, you got to know your scales pretty well. So you think I'm either working with C major or C minor. And for example, if you were given this interval, counting the numbers pretty easy. You just got to count how many spaces and lines it takes up, including the actual notes themselves. So inclusive. And so if you take the bottom note as a tonic of a scale, so you think either C major or C minor, and you know that the number of your interval is 3, so a third. So now you got to ask yourself, okay, the top note here, is that the median of C major or C minor? Does everyone follow me? Yep. Everyone follow? Okay. You take the tonic. You take the root note as your tonic. You count the number, which should be pretty easy. Remember to count it inclusive though. And then once you've got the number, you think the top note is the number scale degree of which scale that begins on C. So you have your options are the C major or C minor. So, and then once you get that answer, in this case, it's C major. So E is the median of C major. So the quality is major. So the interval is a major third. Make sense? I'm going to go on to some of the new keys that we learnt in this grade and apply that. So by now you should really know your keys and key signatures and scales from grade 2 and preferably grade 3. You really will now. So if I took G minor, here are the notes of G minor. I'll do it with accidentals right now. So G harmonic minor is right there. So if you had an interval, oh wait, I should probably also write out G major. Sorry, that's G major and that's G minor. So that method that I just talked about works especially well for thirds and sixes. Seconds and sevenths, not so much. And obviously, and obviously, what am I doing? There we go. And obviously, unisons, fourths, fifths, and octaves are perfect. Seconds, thirds, sixths, and sevenths are either major or minor. So, a handy little trick to use is that you can identify that minor thirds are one semitone less in distance than a major third. And it's the same thing with sixths. So if you look at G major and G minor, here are the notes, they're the intervals. So imagine G as being the root of an interval with the top note of those notes of the scale. So all you gotta remember is that intervals are based largely on scale degrees. So the method of scale and like tonic as your root, the root as a tonic of a scale, and then counting the number, and then applying like critical thinking to the quality. So for that, you gotta know your scales really well. But then you might have realized that seconds and sevenths, like in the scale, they share the same note. So what we can do is, you guys think this. So a major second will always be 2 semitones. A minor second would only be 1 semitone. So if we wanted to make a major second, like, oh, great. If we wanted to make a major second, like for example, this into a minor second, like this, then all we gotta do is to flatten the top note or raise the bottom note, since intervals are based only on the distance, and the distance is counted in semitones. So that's why accidentals matter so much. Does that make sense? Okay. We did most of this in grade 2, but I thought I might as well just touch on it today, since like there are 4 new keys to take into account. So, but thanks to those new keys, there's actually a really handy shortcut that you can use. So, what we've done is that we've learned B flat major, E flat major, and A flat major, right? And if you had an interval with the root of either of those notes, then you already know that's going to be a major interval because we haven't learned B flat minor, E flat minor, or A flat minor. So that's a handy shortcut you can use. So you know that if the bottom note is flattened, then it's probably a major interval. Likewise, if the top note is sharpened, it's probably going to be a major interval. So let me just quickly clear that up. Here is A flat major. So another very handy shortcut when dealing with intervals is that since intervals, remember that intervals are based on distance. So that means essentially, kind of like a math equation, I could deduct like a semitone from both the top and bottom note, and the interval still stays the same. So you could deal with A flat major, or you could deal with A major, which in my opinion is probably a whole lot easier. That's obviously a perfect fourth, since fourth and fifth have to be perfect. Okay? The biggest thing to remember intervals based on scale degrees, largely dependent on distance, and is fourths, fifths, unisons, and octaves, perfect. Seconds, thirds, sixths, sevenths, either major or minor. So I also want to clear up that a relationship between a major interval and a minor interval is always plus or minus one semitone. So I'll use let me see. Someone give me a random scale.
B flat major.
B flat major, fair enough. If my root note was B flat, and actually not B flat major, let's do A minor because we've learned A major and A minor. So okay, so one of these is a major third and another is a minor third. So the minor third is one less semitone distance than the major third. So the difference between a minor third or a minor third, any minor interval and any major interval is a semitone. Can't be able to just draw it out. I'll probably type it or something. Does that make sense? Okay. Kind of sucks that there's no intervals in the textbook. So no interval questions in the textbook. Actually, I might just leave intervals for now since like it's not like a new topic at all. So I'm sure all of us are still pretty familiar with intervals from grade 2, and the only difference is that there's just 4 new keys to take into account. Okay, next. I'm going to share the textbook now. Wait, anyone have any questions before we move on? No? Okay. We're all good. Move that quickly. So. Oh, it's annoying. There we go. Transposition. So I guess like it's time for me to tell you that interval, you probably should be using a lot more of the interval method in transposition. What I mean of the interval method is that in grade 2, I taught you guys 2 methods of doing transposition. The first way was using scale degrees, and the second way was using intervals. So I did recommend the scale degrees method in grade 2 because it was generally like quite a lot easier and there weren't like that many things to take into account at all. But in grade 3 transposition, there's like added accidentals in there, and you gotta account for those accidentals, which is where intervals become really useful. So let's take a look at this. Can everyone flip to page 59? Okay, so I'll quickly go over the interval method of transposition again, which is kind of goes like this. So, for example, if I had a piece in G major, let's just do a very simple melody. Oops. Okay, very simple 2-bar melody. It's in G major. Probably should add the key signature. Bear with me. Key signature. There we go. So I added a key signature. And if I want to transpose this tune up to A major, can someone tell me what's the interval between G and A? Yell it out, anyone? Just yell it out.
Second.
What's the quality?
Major second.
Major second, very good. So when we're doing transposition using intervals, we're gonna make sure that every single note goes up a major second. So G going up a major second is A, B going up a major second is C sharp. The key signature does it for you. C going up a major second is D, G going up a major second is A, F sharp going up a major second is G sharp. The key signature does the work for you. A going up a major second is B, and G going up a major second is A. Okay, so that's the original melody in A major. But what if, for example, I put it was F natural instead of F sharp here? So that means that here's where the interval method really comes into play, because if you use the scale degree method, you're not accounting for any extra accidentals. So that's where you can really go wrong if you don't check like your accidentals or your scale degrees properly. So what if that was an F natural? Well, then an F natural going up a major second is not G sharp, because that's a minor third. Now it's G natural as well. So what happened here was that this note got lowered by a semitone. So following the rules of transposition, that note also be lowered by a semitone. Can you see how checking your intervals is now really useful here? Yeah? So even though that there is that accidental there, it may not necessarily be the exact same accidental. So if we were to transpose like that into B flat major, actually no, let's do E flat major. Actually, no, we haven't learnt. Thinking of like, yeah, okay, let's do A major to to E major. So down to E major. So we change the key signature, and now so A major going down to E major. What interval is this? Anyone? Yell it out.
Fourth.
Fourth. Yep, perfect fourth, since fourths are only perfect. So every single note goes down a perfect fourth. So what we have to do now, every single note goes down a perfect fourth. And remember the natural. So the natural still gets transferred across there. Okay? So what if we were to transpose it into C major now? Okay? E to C is interval. What interval is this?
Third.
Third? Going up. So we're transposing it. Actually, you know what? We'll transpose it down actually, because then it'll go too high. Okay, we're transposing it down. What interval is E going down to C?
Major third.
Very good. So this time we have no key signature, and we start by using our intervals to plot in our notes. E going down a major third is C. F going down a major third is D. F sharp going down a major third is D. G sharp going down a major third is, oh, no, what have I done? G sharp going down a major third is E. E going down a major third is C. And here's where it trips you up, because D going down a major third isn't B, it's B flat. Can you see how the accidental kind of changes, like how things kind of work there? Because the natural was transferred across these three melodies, but it became a flat in the C major. Why is that? It's because that the key signature kind of does some work of the plotting the accidentals for you, but when there is no key signature or a different key signature, then the notes that the key signature applies to isn't really accounted for. So that's why the accidental ends up being changed. Does that make sense? Okay. D, C. So the other way of application of the interval method is interval between the notes of the melody and not like the transposing into a different key. So what that means is that you think, okay, let's get up the original melody. Where's the original melody? Here it is. Get the original melody. You think, okay, G to wait a second, what did I do wrong? Oh yeah, I did. Never mind. Probably just mouse slipped on notes were wrong. Sorry. Yeah. Did anyone see the problem there? This is kind of testing your you right now. Can anyone see the problem with these two? Sorry. You want me to give you the hint? What happened here? Oh, Gracie's looking surprised. So that's why it's important to check your intervals really, really carefully. And so as I was saying, intervals between notes. So here's the original melody, and you think the interval between the first note and the second note right there, that's a major third. So when you get that, you also have to make sure that it steps up a major third, and then the melody steps up a minor third. So you're going to make sure that that melody steps up a minor third, and then etc., etc. Boom. Make sense? So, does everyone have like the textbook transposition exercise in front of them? Because I want you to try doing transposition using the interval method and getting used to it. So, yeah, everyone start working on question 1. Once you're done with that, show me and I'll give you the green light to go on to the next few questions.
Which page is it? I forgot.
Sorry, it's on page 59, lesson 15. So I strongly encourage you to use the interval method, either the first one or the second one, counting the interval between the two keys or counting the interval between the notes of the melody. And yeah, so the accidentals will change. And so just be aware of that. Go. Page 59, question 1. Justin, you are missing an accidental. Actually, no, it's fine. Actually, you are in the second bar. And second, let me just quickly pin everyone since can't see properly. Phoebe, you're using some wrong accidentals. Emma, let me check that. Is that a flat or a natural in the second bar?
Natural.
Okay, can I just look at that again? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Keep going. Mia, let me just quickly. Mia, accidentals. And Gracie. Everyone, do check that your stems are the right way. Gracie, not you. Your stems look. Yep, Gracie, I think that's all right. You're still missing an accidental, Mia. And Eva. You're missing an accidental in the fourth bar, Eva. And Mia. It's the wrong accidental in the this bar.
Is it a natural?
You mean in bar 5? In bar 5, that's a flat. In bar 4, it's a flat. It's a flat. So it's an E flat. See what I mean when the intervals aren't the same depending on the key? It's simply because that the key signature that the accidental had been provided for isn't there anymore. So that means you have to account for like a different key signature. Sorry, my computer was just bugging out a little. Mia, let me check that. Could you just lift it a bit? Yep, that seems right. Phoebe, let me get a good look at that. Yep, that seems right. And Justin. Yes. Wait a second. No, I don't think so. Wait a second. Okay, there's an interval in the third bar that is incorrect. And also, you're not supposed to put that accidental like before the bar line. It's not quite how it works. Wait a second. Even your camera quality is very bad. But I think that looks about right. Yeah. Maybe you like try to fix up with a better Wi-Fi. Um. Yep. Justin, that's pretty good. Is everyone doing question 2 right now? Okay, just checking. And Emma's already finished. Pretty quick. A second. Emma, just getting a good look at that. That looks yep, pretty good. And is that question 3? I'm just gonna check. Yep, there's question 3. So there's question 3 for you to do. And a couple of other people have finished. Let me just get that one. Okay, Gracie looks about correct, and Mia. Okay, some of those accidentals are wrong. So Mia, could you hold that like a bit closer to like the actual question? Is that a natural in the third bar or a shot? Natural? Yep, I think that's correct then.
Do we do the third question?
Yep. Justin, let me check that. Did you forget accidentals, Justin? Wait a second, Mia. I can't see. Okay, what happened with the accidentals in the second bar and the fourth? And Justin, yep, that's the right accidental, but there's one in the fourth bar, I think. Was it the fourth bar or the third bar? The third bar, sorry.
So which one was wrong?
There's a, sorry, so there's an accidental, you see that C sharp in the third bar? Make sure you include that accidental. And Eva, can I check yours? Oh. Yeah, the accidental is wrong for the third bar as well for you. And no, that was for Eva. Me, I didn't get a look at yours. The accidental in the second bar. So if there's an accidental in the original melody, there will almost always be an accidental in the transverse melody. So if there's like no accidental, you've got for the transverse melody, you're doing something wrong. Maybe it's because you think the key signature isn't there or something. So
But there's a B flat in the.
yes, but the B flat has become a B natural because the that note. Just check your intervals. That's all I can say. Also, once you've got the green light from me for the third question, you can head off. Justin. Yeah, I have. I'm trying to see where you went wrong because. Oh yeah, the upbeat to the fourth bar, like those two quavers, they're in the wrong. Yes. Okay, Mia, that's getting closer. Now but your stems are the wrong way. Well, at least some of them are. Everyone's showing me this at the same time. Wait, everyone be patient. Down. Wait a second. All right. Yeah, Emma, that looks about right. Oh wait, your stems. Check your stems, please. Everyone, I'm getting to you. Gracie, could you move that over, but can't see the rest of it? Okay, yep, that's good. Everyone, don't forget your double bar lines at the end of the piece. Just quickly. Don't forget your double bar lines. And yeah, Phoebe, put your double bar lines down. If you don't get a double, if you don't remember to put your double bar line down, that's probably like 2 points. It's probably an easy 2 points that the examiner is gonna take away. From experience. Emma, that look. Stems for the last bar, the final bar, your stems. Mia, could you hold that a bit closer? Emma, stems for the last bar. Wait a second. I'm trying to get to Phoebe and Mia. Oops. Okay, Phoebe and Mia, I'm getting to you. Okay, something went wrong in the second bar for you, Phoebe. Probably got your intervals mixed up. And Mia, that's wrong in like so many ways. Where to start? Okay, for a start, the notes in the first bar are firstly wrong. So you're gonna have to fix that. Make sure you know. Okay, let me ask you, Mia. What's the key of the original melody? Eva, I'm getting to you. Pardon?
F major.
No, not quite. Remember, how do you identify the key of a melody? You look at the key signature, you look at the very first note, which might usually be the dominant, and you look at the very last note, which might usually be the tonic.
D minor.
Yes. Could you fix that? Eva, can I get a look at yours? Okay, wait a second. Yep, that looks right, Eva. Eva, you can go. Gracie, have you finished your third question? Yeah, Eva, you can go. We're a little over time already. Bye. Gracie, did you finish your third question? If so, I think I checked it, right? You can go. Bye. Bye, Eva. Okay. Okay, Emma, you can go. And Justin and Phoebe, finish the question you're on, and you can go. Phoebe. Hmm. something still went wrong in bar 2. Could you check that? Remember, the anacrusis doesn't count as a bar. In case you're confused, the anacrusis doesn't count as a bar. Are you guys almost finished? Just like that question you were on, as soon as you finish that and show me, you can, yeah, you can leave. Okay, wait a second. Phoebe, do you see what is wrong in bar 2? The notes aren't like spaced correctly. The notes just aren't right. And Mia, so in the last bar, is that a sharp and a flat?
It's a natural and a flat.
Okay, something to take away is that if there isn't an accidental in the original melody, there usually wouldn't be one in the new melody. So just erase that final flat, and I'll just tell you to change the natural to a sharp. And well, firstly, Justin, it's set to transpose down to D major. I mean, down to G major. So make sure that you adhere to that. But I'll just check that. You can go fix it up an octave lower at home or something. Mia, add an F sharp in the third bar somewhere. Can you see where you missed out the sharp? Justin. Okay, Justin, you can go. Phoebe. Look, the third, this by Justin, the second bar is still. Yeah, you can go. The second bar still has something wrong with it. So can you show me? Can you show me, Phoebe? The second bar. By Mia. Okay, Can you see that those two high notes don't match up with the original melody? Can I let you go fix that up at home? Okay. Thanks, Phoebe. Bye. See you next week.